Hello, 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 and welcome everyone to Soul Citizens. I am Griffin Gaming RPG, and I'm a Soul Citizen along here with some wonderful, wonderful Star Citizen citizens of the stars. And we're going to go around the room real quick and let everybody introduce themselves. I'm going to start with Mr. FastCart on my, what are you on my left, FastCart? FastCart, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do in Star Citizen?
Hello, my name is FastCart, also known as FC because it's easier to type than FastCart. What I do in Star Citizen, I usually moderate for different channels like Relay, ActoPub, some test gaming channels and stuff like that. I also I s- got started with the Boston Citizen scene, but other people have taken over since then because I don't drink. So it's a rule or requirement. You have to drink in order to be a host and find a great spots. It's not a rule or anything like that. But other people are better suited at it. But I did get the ball rolling for the Boston Bus Citizen scene, and I go to Star Citizen, CitizenCon. I go to
Uh-oh. Did we lose FastCart? I think we lost FastCart, so we have to come back to him. Let's go ahead and come around the circle a little bit more and
He should
go
be
with
coming back
Seer.
up.
Seer, why don't you go ahead and fill us in a little bit about you, buddy? Okay, looks like we lost FastCart. Oh, there he is. He's
For the
back.
moment.
Okay, there he's back.
yeah, my
Okay,
bad.
that's okay,
Uh,
buddy. What was the last thing you shared? We lost you for a
I
few
was
seconds. Your video kind of went completely out.
yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know what was the last thing you heard.
You were
Well,
telling us about
I
the
heard
bar
the
citizens. You were wrapping up about that, telling us about how that had moved on some other people who were more capable.
Yeah. Other people who are more suited to run the bar citizen scene in the Boston area take it over for that. And I go to PAX like PAX East or sometimes PAX South or what went to PAX South once, and I just try to have a good time and have other people have a good time.
Nice, nice. How long have you been a Star Citizen now, Fastcard? You started back when?
2014 October.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All
But
right.
I heard about the Kickstarter, but I didn't play Wing Commander. I played more of the Lucas Arts game. I played the X Wing and Tie Fighter game instead of the Wing Commander game. So I wasn't in that initial rush. But a friend of mine from the Star Wars: The Old Republic guild said mentioned the Star Citizen, and then I saw a CitizenCon presentation, and that's what hooked me.
Nice, nice. Seer, how about you? Let's hear about you, man.
All right. Hello everybody. I'm Sir the Sixth. What I do in Star Citizen is I focus on analytics. For me, I love aerospace. I work for Boeing. I work on the real life version of the Starfare Gemini, and I like translating what I do in real life and like putting perspective in game and just be entertaining and try to spread the wealth of knowledge that I know about components, ship hard points, and a lot of other cool little things within Star Citizen. That's mainly what I do.
And you stream, right, as well?
Very. I stream for the Carrack, but I mainly just do YouTube for now.
Okay, cool. Awesome, awesome. And you are one of the co-hosts from time to time on Inforunners? Is that right?
I am.
Okay, great. I learned a lot from you, brother. You and your technical.
Thank you.
I'm hoping you bring that technical skill here to us because I don't believe in none of that technical stuff. No, I'm just kidding. Kimmy, let's go to you, man. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Oh yeah. Been a backer since 2013. Had a lot of gameplay experiences with the original Wing Commander, Privateer, and so Chris comes back with this project of Star Citizen. So it definitely intrigues me. So got into the game, backed, and the rest is history as far as really seeing the development of the game over the years, of course. And this is the game for everyone. This is the dream game. Um, so I started to. It really inspired me just seeing the love and the passion of this community, and starting to see streamers do this. And I said to myself, "This is interesting." So I started dabbing into streaming myself, and I'm an occasional streamer that mainly focused on Star Citizen and talking about the my main focus on my stream is basically the gameplay implement mechanics of the game. and features that are coming down the line. And I do a little theory crafting about it too, but it's fun. It's good entertainment as far as what the possibilities are, and it's a hopeful way to get across some ideas that CIG may take into account to incorporate into the game because. As Chris said from the beginning, we're a part of this whole process, and that's one thing that I've seen with the development of Star Citizen, learning the development side of Star Citizen. So I'm in the technical field, and it's all seamless to me. And the tech that they're really pushing and getting things on the cutting edge is mind blowing.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm happy to be here, and yeah, big fan of the game.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, I'm Griffin Gaming. I'm in part of Test Squadron. I've been in Star Citizen since I think 2013. I started looking into it. I was an Eve player. By 2014, I was sold, bought into it, and sucked into the black hole of Star Citizen. So, got to follow all these guys online and really admire the work that they do and what they're going to bring to this show as well. So I want to say thank you to those who have helped us. Astropub, I see you out there. Thank you. You did a lot of pushing for us and really appreciate that. And some other friends that are out there as well. Thanks for helping us get off to a really good start. Soul Citizens is basically going to be this, like a lot of other shows. We're a panel discussion talking about Star Citizen, a game that we all love and hate at the same time, but love more than hate. And also, we're going to be talking about Squadron 42 as the development of that comes out as well. We usually take a few subjects, talk about them. The show's going to run probably monthly for right now. We'll see how it goes. All these guys are pretty busy people, but hopefully we'll be able to bring this content to you first Sunday of every month. So mark it down on your calendars. And if you can, like us if you like what you see today. And Soul Citizens, you can look at the title of our name. You can look at us. I don't have to say anything more. Soul Citizens, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into the show a little bit. Um, Guys, I want to toss something out to you guys. Right at the beginning of this year, there was a huge outcry from the community about the roadmap. As you guys know, right after the holidays, CIG kind of goes into a hibernation stage. They go into holiday, they take a little break, then they come back and do this big planning meeting to start outlining what the next year is going to look like. And when they came back this time, there were changes. For a lot of people, terrible changes. For some people, the changes weren't so bad. And then the next roadmap came out, and people were even more a little upset, I guess. What are your feelings? Do you think that these roadmap changes, the fact that they do change them, are actually them being transparent, them being honest? Or do you think that the fact that the roadmap is laid out and then it gets changed, that maybe they made bad calls in the past? Seer, let's start with you. What do you think, man?
Oh boy. So
No pressure.
what can I say? I mean, honestly, it's just how development works, in my opinion. I am not a coder. I have no game development experience, but from everybody who I know that has a solid understanding of how it works, it usually is that I mean, you have a plan. You know how it is. You have a plan with something, and then the plan goes to crap. So then you go to plan B. Like that's what I think of the roadmap. I like looking at the roadmap, but I refuse to look at it because to me, it's like the worst way for me to get a perspective because it's always going to change. It's the roadmap. The way I look at it is the roadmap is dynamic, and without going too far off, for me, it is a little bit frustrating. But at the same time, I have to look at the bigger picture, which is that the main focus is Squadron 42. So while I can look at the actual persistent universe roadmap, I know that a lot of assets are going to get diverted to Squadron 42, which needs to get done. So while I can be a little sad, I'm kind of a realist. I look at it like that. Right now, the main priority is Squadron 42. So I know we're not going to see it much love until after they deliver the final product of it, hopefully by mid next year.
Very cool. FastCart, how about you, buddy? Were you happy, sad, or you didn't care less?
I wouldn't say I didn't care less, but I just posted a link of the Star Citizen and Squadron 42 roadmap in Twitch chat for people to follow along.
Nice.
But this one seemed to be more, had more green and red and blacks and stuff like that. So compared to the previous one, this one seemed to be doing a lot better. But as, as far as I'm personally concerned, I want them to put out the best game they can possibly put out. So I'm not worried about certain delays if they feel that it for the betterment of the game as a whole, rather than in, just delaying stuff because they want to put like fluff or something like that inside. But I wouldn't call it anything that's that they have it that they want to put in. Like maybe based on IAP might even call fluff. But other than that, yeah, I'm cool with it. Cool with the delays.
Okay. Let me ask you: did you hear people upset about it, or most of the people with you kind of the same attitude? They kind of said, "Well, we know it's being delayed, but it is what it is." Or did you actually hear people complaining about the fact that so much seemed to change in the roadmap?
I'm sorry. I see. I heard you
Oh, we
talking
might have
and
lost audio for a second. Yeah, I was asking. That's okay. I was asking from you talking to other people, what was the general response to people you talked to? Were people okay with the fact that the changes happened, or did you kind of run into some of the same people being a little upset?
I generally don't go to Reddit, so it's like the stuff I hear from other like podcasters and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's mixed, but mostly most people that I've my general consensus that I've personally have seen people are okay with it rather than not okay with it. But again, I stay away from Reddit.
I gotcha. Kimmy, how about you, buddy?
Wow. First and foremost, as I've said before, this is the big boys game. And with that said, seeing the development from day one and onward, uh, the development, the changes that are necessary, because this particular game has distanced itself from a lot of the run of the mill AAA games. Uh, the tech is cutting edge. I think the roadmap the at the beginning, it was a good point to see where they were, and to give focus, and also portray to show that direction that we were going to the backers. But I think it's progressed into, based upon what's going on now. It's now a glorified placeholder, and I don't want to be negative or sound negative about that, but because of the necessary things that they have to do according to the foundational tech, then yeah, it's there, and it's there as an outline or a bullet point to see, and to know that it's on the map to be developed. But at any given point, they can and will pull certain things or put things in front of it based upon what's ready or what's connected to that particular piece of tech. So because there's so many moving parts and interconnected pieces, they they have to pull some things away or add some things to the roadmap development path. But yeah, again, it's the frustrating thing to the whole community
Well, let me ask you.
is the waiting.
Let me ask you guys this then. Do you think that the roadmap, originally when we first heard about it, people were excited about it. They said quarterly updates, places where we can hold them accountable. Do you guys think
Yeah.
that it has become a detriment, or do you think it's just the way the community looks at it? I mean, do you think it's a positive for CIG to maintain the roadmap? Because it seems like even when they make the changes, it's still not enough. People still feel like there's not enough communication. Even though, and I don't sound like well, actually, I do sound like we're in a bunch of white knights right now. Pardon the pun, but I'm just kind of wondering, it, do you think that it's a detriment, or is the roadmap cool and people need to change their attitude about it? Anybody who wants to toss in on that, I'll take that.
Well, I'll go first.
Make them all
Again, I'll
short.
be
Make them all
quick.
short. Make them all short so everybody can talk. Go ahead.
Yes, I'll make it short. Um, I mean, we have to follow the project, and see what's going on, and we have to stay connected and tuned in to what's going on. Currently, they have to get this foundational tech out of the way. Once they can do that, then they can go back and adhere to the roadmap. For those who are watching and understanding what's going on with the development, they all know that there are essential things that has to be corrected or fixed. Like, for example, the 30K issues, catch all for these errors. Server-side object container streaming, I think it still needs some more work. And then eventually onward to server meshing. So until then, they can go back and really dial into the roadmap.
Seer, let me
I want to.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm gonna let you.
You go ahead, Fast.
I'm gonna say. Let's see it go first. That's all I'm gonna
No,
say.
okay, but don't lose your thought though. Seer, just real quick,
Okay.
when Kimmy said foundational tech, what is that that people may not understand? Since you're the analytics guy, what is it that maybe people don't get that's going in the background, and why everybody keeps saying once that's done, we'll see things move faster?
So people need to remember that this company, CIG as a whole, came from nothing. Producers, I mean, most other industry, well, most other companies as a whole, like Rockstar and them, they've made these assets that allows them to have a sense of ease when they're building these games that still take forever to make. So, with that being said, for Star Citizen as a whole, you have object container streaming, you had client side and server side. Client side was for us, server side was strictly for the server to help the server get a higher frames per second. You have iCache, and then you have server meshing, and all of that together ties in with making this game. And SSOCS, or SOX, I like to call it SOX, was for both Squadron 42 and for Star Citizen as a whole. So a lot of people forget about that. So these are the building blocks that make this game, and they still have to make them so that the game can run at its optimal settings with all the other stuff. And they need to implement the Vulkan AI as well. I forgot about that one too.
Yeah,
But
good point.
that's going to be for Squadron 42. Then they would like to add it to here. But that basically, I know I'm missing a couple other things, but those are like the main foundational blocks. That is what makes Star Citizen down at a molecular level, and then everything else is just for us to play and do. So
Thank you.
continue.
Good stuff. Thank
Yeah,
you.
your original question are the roadmaps detriment at this point? And I don't believe they are. I believe that just that the community as a whole is beginning taking them for granted and just seeing them as more of a crutch than a notification or a something to keep track of rather than you know just 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 to taking it for what it is, just a roadmap and just a notification device.
Okay, that's good stuff. Thanks, guys. Okay, Seer, it's on you, bro.
Um, I take the roadmap with a grain of salt because there's so many things that go into the roadmap that we never see. As much as CAG wants to be transparent with us, we're never going to understand what they go through on a day-to-day basis with what 4 studios across the world. And when we all look at tasks, we don't understand what is involved in every single task. We don't know anything that's going on. So honestly, for me, it's like just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride. People are always going to complain. You can't make everybody happy. It's
Mm,
always going to be in the equation. So I just remember at the end of the day, what they're doing, nobody else has done. So I may not agree with what they're doing, but I just sit and wait. And when they give results, I commend them. When they don't give results, I just wait for them to not disappoint me.
good point. Good point. All right. Well, we're going to move on to the next subject. Seer, it's on you for that one. We're talking about the Red Dead Redemption.
Yes, the Cuddy Red. So I think what it was the end of January, we got the Cutlass Red, and what it brought with us was obviously a brand new Cutlass because the Cutlass Black is one of the most, if not popular, starter ship for $100. Well, I wouldn't say starter, but best all around ship that's pretty cheap. Rather than the Avenger Titan, but that's my personal opinion. So, anyways, I digress. With the Cutlass Red, it gave us a start to the medical gameplay. So rather than you just getting a Medipen, you have an option to respawn into the bed. But I mean, the most important part is that the Cutlass Red is like the bare backbone of medical gameplay. Is a space ambulance as the tier 3 or the worst tier of medical. But I mean, I enjoy it. It definitely helps me when I'm playing with my guys and I want to bring something cheap. And I don't have to bring the Carrack in, which is a totally different topic. But I can just bring something that cheap in and just go have fun with it. And I know there's been a bunch of videos, but I remember discovering the fact that when I was first flying around on Daymar, I honestly found all the ore. So that's really nice too. That the fact that they had the radar, I love the spotlight. Over Overall, that ship honestly was like a quality of life with the fact that they added the respawning capability. So if you die, you honestly have a chance to go back and continue what you're doing at an accelerated rate rather than, oh crap, I forgot to save my spawn at Port Olisar if I flew from Hurston all the way over to Daymar, for example, and then I die and I have to go back. No, you can respawn in the Cutlass Red if you're within the parameters of the ship once you respawn. But I think it's cool. I've been flying around a lot. I usually fly ships around for 3 or 4 months before I even do my own little technical guide on it, so I can understand the ship fully. So I mean, I'm enjoying it, but what do you guys think of it?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll go. I'll jump in. I, there was one instance where I played with the Cuddy Red, and I did the 890 jump mission with someone, and I didn't realize this that you were able to take that Cuddy Red, uh, basically park next to the 890, go do the mission, and I happened to be, and I was killed. But prior to that, I set the respawn to the bed, and so I was taken out in the mission, but I was able to respawn and then just EVA right back over to 890. And I said
You're
that
giving
was
away
my aha
secrets.
moment.
You're giving away secrets.
Well, hey, this is gameplay, baby. It's gameplay, and I thought that it makes sense with the fact that that's the essential element of the medic gameplay, and it tells me that CIG can actually compile above that, like instances of doing the full medical mechanic and then respawning that person. So it shows that they have a game plan in place. So yeah, I was really surprised and shocked about that type of gameplay that was provided immediately with the Cuddy Red. So yeah, my experience was good.
With FastCart, I'll let you have it, bro.
See, I'm the type of person who would, if I get a splinter and I'm too far to get it taken out or taken take care of, I'm just kill the character off and get a holding character without the splinter. No, seriously, I'm glad the gameplay is in. It's probably not, definitely not the final um tier or final
Oh yeah.
way this gameplay is going to be, but it's a start. And I'm more into manufacturing and marketing. So, but baby steps until they get to that point. But I'm glad to see that this is in game. People seem to be enjoying it. I don't have a Cuddy Red or any Cutlass. I'm more of an Origin Mist and RSI type of guy, and so yeah, I don't that not my type of gameplay. But I'm glad that other people are enjoying it. So if I ever do get hurt in the game, I can come to one of y'all.
And to your point, there, I think we look at the mechanics that have been introduced into the game. Cargo was probably the most accessible one that came, and then mining came in, and now we're seeing the beginnings of medical. And Seer brought up a good point, and I think that maybe the people who haven't gone back far enough in the documents to find out how the medical career will work, there are those three tiers that are going to be operating within medical: tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, Seer, I'm hitting on you again because you're the analytics guy. That bed technically in the Cuddy 3 will be a tier 3 bed. Is that probably
Yes,
right?
it's the worst of the worst, as
Right.
in you'll be able to fix like scratches, bruises, probably minor damage, versus what the Apollo, the 890 jump, and Carrack and Endeavor will be able to do because they obviously have higher tiers.
Right. So we're looking at that being tier 3. The Apollo moves up to tier 2, which you can put a tier 1 in if you remove some beds, and then the larger ships in
Yep.
the hospitals are tier 1. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because a lot of people who don't know that went out and bought the Cuddy thinking that they're going to always be
Mm,
able to revive their characters later on, and they're going to get a rude awakening when they find out that all they can do is stop a little bleeding until they get some to a medical facility or someplace with a higher tier. Is that right, guys?
To the
Yes.
Endeavor, at least.
Well, or a
I
hospital, wherever the
Planetside.
case may be.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Planetside to the hospital.
Yeah. If I
Um,
remember correctly, it was the Cutlass Red is the basic. 890 jump and Carrack are on par with a tier 2. Then you have the Apollo, which can hold two tier 2s, I think, or three, or one tier 1 bed, the best of the best. And
It's a
then the
planet.
890 jump, you can have the module that allows you to be the flying hospital.
Mm.
So that would be tier 1, like above all everything, literally. So
Yeah.
if you
that makes me
have
glad.
$400, Go
That
ahead.
makes me glad because I do have the Endeavor, but I don't have the medical modules. But I'll be able to get those in the game if I choose to.
Right.
Yep.
So basically, there's the warning, folks. If you're watching, be aware. Enjoy that you can get a tier 1 bid out of that Cutlass for right now, because the day is coming where that's all going to eventually wrap up. What do you guys think in the sense of do you think I've heard people say this? They said that the Cutlass Reds will now be a target because people will see them as spawning points. And let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about that the Apollo, any of those ships that we know provide medical services. Now, you guys know that right now we have a Geneva Convention that there's certain people you don't attack during battle or war. I know this is a real tough question to throw out here. Should there be a similar Geneva Convention in the game that is actually a player mechanic? Let me fill it out for you. Because if we know ships are spawning points, right? FastCart, you got an Endeavor. That's $1,000 investment when it's fully loaded, right?
Fully loaded. Yeah, I didn't pay the $1,000, but
Right,
yeah.
but fully loaded. So if
Yeah.
people see you and there's something going on, they're going to be people who are automatically, their attitude is going to be take out that Endeavor so nobody can respawn. That's their total purpose for doing it, right? My
No,
question.
the total purpose is just killing FastCart.
Okay, that's the reason. Okay, so my question to you guys is this: should they create some type of mechanic that actually penalizes you if you decide to do it? That's fine if you decide to do it. But maybe a crime stat or something is put on you, and I'm talking about a very extreme crime stat. Or should there be something that says when an ambulance is moving from location to location, it's fair game, but once it has somebody who's on there wounded, if you attack it, because they can put in a mechanic that says if somebody's hurt on that ship, that people can see on their beacon, maybe the thing flashes or something, and it lets people know there's somebody wounded. And I'm asking this because I'm looking about people who have that medical career. How do they not get frustrated if people are going to see them as nothing more than a big bullseye anytime they bring their ship out?
So my thinking is I would like it to be a crime stat, but my opinion is people would just ignore it and just do whatever they want to do in the game anyway, no matter if they get a crime stat on it or not. That's just how people are. You said you came from EVE Online. Imagine something being implemented like that in EVE Online. People would just ignore it. So I believe there should be a crime stat. I don't think it'll make much difference.
I'm playing devil's advocate here. Seer, I'm throwing this at you. If you guys remember when they first brought in this last patch, if you did a parking violation, my fault, a speeding violation, you were charged 20,000 credits for driving too fast past a space station. Can you levy something so high that people will think twice about blowing up a ship?
I mean, yeah, but I've you are right, the Geneva Convention, but back in Vietnam and everything, the medic would make themselves know they were the medic.
Right.
And with this situation, we have escorts, in my opinion.
Okay.
We the this My thing is the center of this game is combat, and there's risk versus reward. If you want to be a medic, and any smart org who wants to have a medic on the field with you,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have them well protected. They're not just going to let them be a sitting duck.
Good
And
answer.
yes, I believe everybody would say, "Oh, we should kill the medic," but if you have all your guys going toward the medic and nobody else, then that just allows you to overwhelm them. So they're probably, in a realistic scenario, I believe they'll be more strategic, and they'll say a couple of us would try to get the medic. It was the same thing in Eve. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
would try to kill the triage, but there's always a couple more triage
Right.
units to cover it. So then people would be like, okay, we can't kill him. They would go to back
Right.
to something else. I believe it will be a similar, not the same, but a similar
Mm-hmm.
situation where they'll try to dedicate some resources, but if they know they're not going to be able to get to it, they'll pull back and try. So that's just going to means how well you're going to protect that medic, depending on what kind of situation you're in.
Cool. Kimmy, any thoughts?
Well, great point, guys. And this is why this is the meta game. With that said, uh, in situations that you're engaged with maybe another or a rival org and you have that particular ship in your fleet, then I'd say that it's open game because that's a part of that gameplay mechanic to respawn and to continue the attack at some fashion or whatever, even if you have to EVA and use weapons. But when you're talking about taking out the equation of okay, this particular ambulance or Cuddy Red or Endeavor that's coming in because they hear of a combat situation, and they are independent of those orgs or those squadrons, and they come in to provide services and they're attacked, then you enable that Geneva Convention type law or that war crime to say that you're actually having aggressive actions to someone who's neutral to your battle. So it should be approached in an intelligent way. So yeah, I do agree with it.
Okay. Okay. I'm also thinking about, and I know we haven't seen this mechanic yet, and maybe you guys will have some thoughts on this. Death of a spaceman. You know, I know we try to base a lot on that, but God only knows what that will be when it's all said and
Right.
done. How valuable will it be for your character to stay alive? Because right now everybody's spoiled with respawning, and it's no big deal. What happens when, if you die, you're at that point where maybe you're not coming back? When it comes to this whole medical career thing, because someone put in chat and said, well, if you start shooting the medics, they're going to be reluctant to come out to get anybody. And even though, and I agree with Sear, I think his point was well made. If you go out, if you can arrange to have security, now mind you, if I'm an ambulance and I'm responding to you and I hire 2 fighters to go with me and I'm coming to get you, your fee for me to pick you up is going to be maybe astronomical when it's all said and done. Is it worth it? And I'm kind of curious, is it worth it for me to risk me going out? In fact, because guess what? If I get blown up, I might possibly get messed up too. So I'm trying to figure out how we balance this out in such a way that that career can flourish. And again, I'm not trying to make them invincible, but I am trying to say if somebody targets them, there should be something in my book that says be aware that if you do this, understand you may go from a crime stat 0 to a crime stat 5, something like that that just says, yeah, okay, I'm willing to take that risk, or it may be 50,000 credits if you kill somebody who's in this thing. I'm just trying to figure out how do you balance it out, because my frustration in Eve was that quite often the people who griefed or did things, the consequences for their act was never anywhere near the consequences that would happen to me. If I lost a mining ship with 50 million in it and they crashed me with a $10,000 credit ship, guess what? They respawn. They got a note on the leaderboard. I lost all my ore plus my ship and had to go out and get another one and got cloned. So I'm just saying, how do we create balance? And I know it's a difficult question, but with the death of the spaceman thing, will lives be more valuable, or will people just indiscriminately just kill people and they don't care? Thoughtful question everybody's pondering.
Well, okay, I'll play devil's advocate for this one.
Okay.
My main issue with Death of the Spaceman is the fact that that article was made back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
We're now in 2020. I don't know how they are going to implement that with all the other crap that is going on. Personally feel like what we know about Death of a Spaceman and a lot of other things that they said was going to happen in the past is going to change,
Right.
because the game has been saturated with so much more stuff ever since they done the voting with everything, and they expanded so much. I think there'll be similarities with Death of the Spaceman, but I've read that article up and down, so I definitely know what you mean. But I just don't know what's going to be in store for us with how they want death to work. Nobody has really addressed it except for when Tom Pappy addressed it and they were talking about permadeath and everything, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, FastCart, go ahead. Oh, we don't hear you, FastCart.
Oh no.
Audio. Nope, still don't have you, buddy. We don't have you in Discord.
Yeah,
He's resetting it. Kimmy, go
Okay.
ahead and jump in while we're waiting on him to come back.
okay.
Oh, there he is.
Go ahead, fast card.
No, we still don't have him. Go ahead, Kimmy.
Okay. Okay, so Sear made a good point about that mechanic was introduced way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And the only correlation I can see with Death of the Spaceman where it matters is it would have to tie into the reputation system. And I think reputation system has to be robust in the sense that, with that said, your character has influence on certain things in certain systems. There's a relationship with the NPCs that you have that relationship has been formulated and built up, and as well as having leeway to certain items and things, influences. With normal players or real players in the game, I don't think you really suffer that much. But the only way to make it count or make it seem like there's a detriment to dying in the game is it's got to tie into your reputation system, and the reputation system has to be so robust that you have to say, I don't want to lose my life because I have all these different perks according to who I am, whether you're a pirate or you're a UEE sympathizer in the game.
That's good. That's a good point. Good point. FastCart, did we get you back?
I see what the problem
Oh, there
was.
you are. Oh, we got him. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
I was messing with my remote, and I actually muted myself.
Ah,
So FastCart was muted.
dirty remote.
Yeah, I was trying to adjust the volume and accidentally hit the mute.
No problem.
Sorry about that. To your point, I had a point that I was trying to figure out my technical issues. I almost forgot, but you were talking about what was the original question?
Oh, we were talking about death of a death of a salesman, death of a spaceman, death of a salesman, man, death of a spaceman,
Hey,
and whether lives.
I'm gonna be a marketeer in person, so I can definitely see that.
Okay.
But I remember what I wanted to say.
Mhm.
I can see I can see people wanting to try to keep their characters alive as long as possible without dying. But that in itself may put a bigger target on their back though. Because I personally, for me, I'd rather keep my one character that I make on the first character creation screen
Mhm.
and try to live as long as prosperous and doing my thing as possible. Like I don't tend to do a lot of dangerous dogfighting. I'll probably do a lot of stuff in the squad,
Mhm.
but sometimes accidents happen. You may lose connections, or may get someone may get a lucky shot. You just may have an unlucky time. But me personally, I want to just like I want to see my kid to live at least a year.
Mhm.
I don't know that I don't see that that would be reasonably possible. But that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I want to try in the game.
That'll be after you lose the first 3 characters, then about a year after that one, right on the fourth one. Well,
Yeah, I tell you my first character. My next character's gonna be a pirate. Be all doing all of the illegal stuff. Yeah.
that's cool.
Breaking Bad.
Well, I got to say this. We'll get ready to go to our next subject. I'll close this subject on this point. JJ 2078 says this, guys. If there's no single payer universal health care paid for by the taxpayer, then the individual will have to arrange for the cost themselves. So there you go. There's the answer to the question.
I like Ops Chief's point about NPCs may not want to work with you or under you, and
Yeah.
the fact that they're going to cover 90% of the verse, that has detriment to the death of the spaceman. But again, as CR said, we're going to have a natural lifespan of 142 years based upon the technology that's out there. We're going to naturally die if we don't get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to your point, that's why, as you said, the reputation thing will be very important, not just for human players, but NPC characters, mission givers, all that good stuff, right? So those are all good points. Thanks, Kimmy. Okay, let's move on. FastCart, you're going to touch base with us on the big announcement for CitCon, and then you're going to tell us about PAX this weekend.
Oh yes, there was an announcement for CitizenCon a couple of weeks ago. Don't have the well, I do have the link in there. I just had to find it real quick, but I'll speak up first. But it's on October 10th. It'll be in Los Angeles at the convention center. And loads of people are already making accommodations and flights and stuff like that. I didn't, ex- I expected some people to do it, but I didn't. I'm surprised at the amount of people who are already making plans. Like it's already 8 months in advance. But this community, so I shouldn't be surprised by that. But as far as yes, we had a PAX East over here, and they had a bar citizen yesterday, and if you want to go to my Twitter feed, there's a whole bunch of pictures and stuff like that. I got to talk to one of the newer community managers, Molly, and Tyler was there too, and I met up with them at both at PAX and at the at the bar citizen. But I got to chat with Molly for like 40, maybe an hour long, and I posted Twitter the tweet in a moment. But we got to talk about CitizenCon and a whole bunch of other stuff. The main takeaway from Molly is that if you haven't been to a CitizenCon or if you are just thinking about going to CitizenCon at all, you definitely want to go to this one.
Yeah.
And she was so cute and adorable because she wanted to tell us more. But she couldn't even look at us straight in the eyes because she was feeling guilty about not sharing the information. But
Mm.
but she definitely said this is the year to go to CitizenCon. I don't feel comfortable extrapolating why that might be because I don't want to like make it seem like she told me or told us anything in our group, but she really didn't. But I mean, you can make of that what you will.
Well, I'll tell her what you told me then. How's that? No, I'm just kidding. No, I know we haven't talked about anything, and you're right. There's a lot of people who have been, trying to project what it might be. Kimmy, if there was one thing you think that will come out of CitizenCon, what do you think it will be this year?
Uh, Based upon the development track, is definitely Squadron 42 announcement date of
Yep.
when we're going to see it, when it's going to be in our hands. And I wanted to say that Ops Chief makes a great point. Make sure, for those who are going, make sure to get your real ID. That's going to
Yep.
be an
That's
issue
changed
when you
October
get
Oh
into the
1st.
yeah,
airport.
If you don't have a
and it
passport,
could because that happened in
Well, not a
October, correct?
passport, and it's for if you live in America, it's called an enhanced driver's license. You need that if you're traveling within the U.S.
that's right.
Obviously, if you're not American, you need to have a passport, but you have to have an enhanced driver's license by October 1st of
Hmm.
this year. And so don't be that guy or gal that goes to the airport with your regular driver's license and then you have to get turned away, then you can't go to the CitizenCon and you've wasted all that money. I don't want you to see that. I was actually thank you because I was actually going to make a post in and Spectrum, but I'm pretty sure CIG is already going to have a list of things you probably should have before you even step on a plane.
Yeah.
Probably a face mask being one of them. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Well,
But
no, 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 not the kid. I sent a message out to FastCart earlier, and Kimmy, I got out of church this morning and had an email from Airbnb saying your reservation has been canceled for October 9th through 11th. I'm like, what the heck? And you've been fully refunded. And I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And so, by the way, FastCart, just so you'll know, I found another place and it was $100 cheaper, so it worked out good.
oh, there you go.
But yeah,
'Cause I want to make a suggestion to people. If you're searching for places like flights and stuff like that, make sure you use incognito mode so it don't keep your cookies or keep track of you. And if you can, try to use a VPN so because I think people outside of the U.S. may get a discount or something an advantage over people within the U.S. Trying to book the same thing. But yes, definitely use incognito mode until you're ready to make a purchase. But
Those
then,
freaking self-targeted ads. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That's what I
but
freaking. You look up one thing on the internet, then all of a sudden you'll be watching a YouTube video, then you'll see an ad. It's like, God dang it, Google, stop taking all my information.
you're right.
exactly.
You're right.
So yeah, incognito mode is the minimum.
Yeah.
VPN is the maximum.
Very
So yeah.
good. Good suggestions, both of you guys. Seer, what about you? Anything from CitizenCon you think is going to come out other than Squadron?
I mean, gosh, Kermit, yet again, he takes the words out of my mouth. I mean, yeah, I think it's that. I think we're gonna have literally all the actors, the famous actors within that helped make Squadron 42 are gonna be there. I would hope Crusaders Industries, which is the best ship manufacturer in the game, represented as a whole, and they release an epic Jupiter along with it, their awesome cap ship.
Hmm.
But and they showcase the Mercury Star Runner because once again it's awesome. But with with that being said, I mean, I'm excited. I just really hope the issues that are going around the road with the coronavirus slows down by then
Yeah.
because that's highly
I'm
going
hoping
to
I'm hoping it's
impact.
gone by then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really hope so too. I mean, I've already made my preparations, and this is not about the coronavirus,
Hmm.
but it's just people need to be aware that this is LAX, this is an
Yeah.
international airport, and this new disease has already left China, and there's already people with it. It's pretty ridiculous. So
Yeah.
just proper hygiene and
Hand
just take care of
sanitizer.
yourself
Yeah. Take care
for
of
real.
yourself, basically. Take care of yourself. Absolutely. I do want to say, excuse me, My predictions for CitizenCon this year are one of the clues or one of the statements that was made by the Pillars, where they alluded to the fact that there were several ships that they had completed. They just haven't dropped them yet. And
Oh
usually
yeah.
we get one, maybe two ships dropped, but we know that the Nautilus, from when people went to CIG, said it was
Yeah, it was done.
almost done. So we know the
Mm.
Nautilus is there. We know the Mercury Star Runner is another one. The C2 is another one. The Hull C is another one. So I'm actually looking. My prediction is that CIG is not going to just do a one ship drop. That they are going to do a bigger drop and introduce a new solar system, maybe two. So
Mm.
Oh, that'd be epic.
it would now if they did that, that would be it. But this is all contingent upon all of that is contingent upon socks and server meshing. So that's between now and October. If they're still dealing with that, then obviously we all know they can't populate the universe the way they would want to. But if they do get that fixed, the gridding on the whole sea, because you guys even know the whole sea is finished. It's the grid thing that they're
Yeah.
dealing with that ship. So they have a lot of ships that are done that they just have not put out yet.
The Jared actually told me when Astropub and I and Moist Noodle were on.
Hmm.
Jared said what is literally holding up the whole sea is the fact that they need to make the external cargo its own thing, and of
Right.
course ship to ship docking.
Yep.
They said that's what's basically waiting for because they already. Oh, John Crew already said they already overcame the issue of keeping the ship together when it expands or
Hmm.
retracts. But I actually this even kind of confused me. So when you say we're waiting for socks, what do you think still needs to be done? Because they said, well, if I remember correctly, when they discussed it on their Inside Star Citizen,
Hmm.
they said Socks is mainly there. It's now just fixing everything that Socks broke.
Right.
So,
Right.
I'm just curious to, is that what you're referring to
I'm
with
saying
Socks, or do you
yes.
think there's more?
I'm
Okay,
saying I'm saying that socks they implemented the first stages of socks, and part of that was getting everything converted over for it. And once
hmm
that's done, server meshing is the next thing because of the
okay,
being able to add more people. We know we did the little test with 60 people on the servers recently. We also know that they've had as many as 100 people on the servers for with testing before, not with us, mind you, but there has been testing with over 100 people on the server. So if they really want to introduce all these other new things, like for example, if was it
the
Orison
servers have to handle it.
was with Crusader,
Orison, yeah,
Orison,
Crus- the
because they
landing
got to
zone,
pull
yep.
right. They've already told us that Stanton is maxed out. They're going to have to pull Levski out if they want to
I
drop
mean,
that in if they don't change it.
We're back to
Levski
Nick's.
doesn't even belong in that
Exactly.
system.
Nick's is supposed to be a
Nick's.
Nick's, right? So I'm just saying,
Yes.
if they want to do any expansion, meshing has got to happen. And I kind of weigh out what's going to be more important to them to give us a new system and keep us at 50 or 60, or is it going to be to increase the amount of people who can be on a server? And I'm really curious if any of you guys want to put that in the comments and let us know which one you think takes a greater priority. I know you're going to say both, but if you had to pick one, what would you rather have? More people on the server or expansion into the systems? But still at lower numbers of people on the server.
Should I say expansion into the new systems?
Yeah,
I can go either
I have to
way. I mean,
agree.
I'm not trying to cop out and say both, but I can go either way because if you add more people, that bring more people in who want to play. But I personally want to see more systems and more exploration and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
point.
as I said before, with the different components of the game that are so connected, they do need to have more systems to enable to allow Tony Z to implement quantum, and then we get the economy system
Yeah,
in a working state.
that's a good point. Because the economy is the next thing I know some people have been crying out for. I know 10th Sigma has been making a big piece on that when I've been listening to him. He's an accountant, so he's ready to break out his calculator. But economy is a factor, and I mean even something as simple as how we do transactions between each other when we're playing right now. Yeah, we've been using beacons, but that's such a hard workaround for a lot of people. We do need to have those ATMs. Hint, hint, CIG, on ArcCorp and the other places. Just even if it's just a matter of being able to give somebody a count, you can even put a daily limit on it if you want to, so that we're not, doing some crazy stuff. But we need to be able to move money back and forth in some form in the game. So anyway, we'll move on to the next piece here, and I think that's going to be on Kimmy. We're going to be dangling the Carrack, man. The Carrack. Talk about that.
Okay, first and foremost, I was that sucker who bought the $25 upgrade.
I did.
I
That was
did
me. I'm guilty
It's
right here.
sexy.
3 out of 4.
You know,
3 out of 4.
and I looked at it and I said, "Wow, NCC 1701 color scheme. I like it. Gotta
For
have it."
real.
But again, it was a I think it was a thing of push and pull between the community and SIG. You would hear these memes and all this give carrot, give the carrot, and it was just
Oh
one of those.
gosh.
They
Give
voted
Mercury
back.
Star Runner.
And it was just, it was just, it
Sounds
was,
like a freaking rapping.
it's crazy, right? I mean,
Spitting give, not spitting fire.
I mean, it was crazy, but it started with those backer goes about voting, and they said, well, exploration, yeah, this is going to be a big universe, a persistent universe we're going to be in. We want to explore, and it just went on and on and on to. I mean, it was a fever pitch. Every CitizenCon, every mention of something through text or inside Star Citizen Live. Where's the carrot?
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness.
It became Disco Lando's favorite ship.
No, that's BS. His
Everything,
favorite ship
everything is what? What is the
was
one?
the
Which one is it?
oh, it was the Starliner.
It
It
was,
was the Genesis
right. It was the Genesis Starliner.
and he said
That's
that
right.
forever.
That's
How's
right.
all of a good son say?
He changed
Watch,
up.
He's gonna be once. I swear, once the Genesis Starliner gets a game, he's like, "Oh, I lied. I once again love this shit."
Yeah.
No,
Blasphemy, I
no.
tell you,
The community
blasphemy.
voted. The community
Yes.
voted.
Yes,
The
vote.
Carrack is his favorite ship. That's
Oh, is that what happened?
Lame.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Lame.
So it comes out. It's going to be your favorite ship.
Yeah.
Jared.
Okay, so I got a
You
question.
voted them.
I got a question, Kimmy. Then, okay, all this hype about the Carrack, and one of my questions I'm going to ask you guys at the end is what's going to be the next gibboning ship. But I want to ask this question. I want to ask this question of you. I had problems with the Carrack coming out, and the problem I had with the Carrack coming out was the same problem I had with what they did with the Reclaimer. And I said that what I did appreciate about when the Cutlass Red came out was that they did add an aspect of a mechanic that made the ship justified to be in the game. And I said, if the Carrack comes out, it needs to come out with either some type of extended scanning package. I know we can't navigate wormholes, but there needs to be something that allows us to start getting into the whole exploration pack. Now, I will say this. I went out with some friends over the weekend. We boarded a ship with about anywhere from 5 to 8 people. We were role playing, and man, we had a blast. We went all over the place. We did some things. We got to get a feel of the ship. People took certain positions and operated in them. It was great. But the main thing that I could do that in any ship, though, if that's the case. I can get an Andromeda and do that. I want to see mechanics when they release these ships, just like when they put out, what's the thing that puts out the big red bubble? What's that thing called? The what's that thing? The mantis. The mechanic worked. The mechanic worked in it. Imagine they gave us the mantis and the mechanic didn't work. I want them to, when they give us ships now, I want some aspect of them to work. I did appreciate the fact that you guys go back in the cartography room. Did you see that that's working now? It's working somewhat. The planets actually orbit around and spin, which they weren't doing in the PTU. But I mean, do you think that when these ships come out, they should be functioning in some way in their career, or is it just nice to have it? I mean, if the Banu Merchantman comes out right now, big fat hairy deal. It's just another big cargo ship. We can do that with any other ship.
Don't you be trash talking to Banu.
I'm not trash. No. I'm not trash talking to Banu. I'm trash talking a ship that is nothing more than. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a cargo ship. I just want ships to have some of their purpose built into them when they come in the universe. Now, that's all I'm saying. Now, you guys give me your thoughts on it.
I just alluded to I'm looking forward to the Benny Merchantman. I'm not bothered by the fact that it's taking this long to come out because that means it'll be that much better when it does come out. Compared when I'm seeing people with their character and how much they're enjoying it. So that makes me more comfortable about the time it's taking to come out. But it if it came out today, sure, why not? I mean, the mechanic with the Banding instrument is supposed to be the bazaar,
Right.
so you're gonna need some kind of economy, a better economy in place now than what we have now.
Right.
So if that's gonna be implemented, but I mean, as far as the other ships, like I bet some people are looking forward to like bounty hunting and when I have a better implementation of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just nice to have the ship, but that's just my opinion.
Okay. Well, you just mentioned
mean-
like the Cutlass Blue. Seer, talk to me real quick about that. The Cutlass Blue's the next one coming out. Should they have some type of mechanic in there with the prison system and everything that makes that ship, tied into some way to that? Or do you think people will just be happy if they've got their blue, they got their cells in it, but there's really nothing they can do with it?
I mean, well, in 3.9 we're getting the prison gameplay, and we're getting bounty hunting improvements. So theoretically, when the Cuddy Blue does come out, there should be like relevant gameplay to go with it, because actually this gameplay loop kind of evolves around combat, which CIG can do, because uh, combat's kind of like the main thing of it. I mean, I wanted to kind of caveat what FastCart said, but I'll hold it off so
Mhm.
everyone else can talk about the Cuddy Blue.
No,
Most
go
of what I was just
no, go
saying.
ahead. No, go ahead.
So, I mean, FastCart brings up a good point with the whole. I don't get me wrong. I like the Carrack. My whole thing is like the ship doesn't have to look super fancy like Origin. No offense. My thing is fit, form, and function. So the Carrack is perfect with the whole concept of fit, form, and function. And the issue is that there's so many. I can't speak for anybody, but I feel like CIG has put a lot of effort into the gameplay loops themselves that evolve around it, but there's just things that they can't push out yet because they're waiting for X, Y, and Z. Like again, the Carrack, it has drones. What do we know about drones? That they're they're remotely accessed. They're basically a small ship theoretically, and they have to interact with docking. So that's already out of the way. We're not going to see drones until at least we get docking. That's what I believe, because they have to be attached and detached from the ship. So once I feel like we get docking out of the way, it's going to open up a lot of stuff. And then again, FastCart once again with the whole bazaar, the economy. We have to have a dynamic economy, and Tony Z, that's all him. And they just pushed that back again. So don't know we're going to see that. Even salvage. Astro Pub and I have talked about this again and again and again. Salvaging is the opposite of repairing. One is constructing, building it up. One is destruction, building it down to the basic bare bones. So without one, you can't really have the other. So that's just it for the gameplay. I feel like we're just waiting on stuff to get done. And once they'll get done, I guarantee CIG already knows how they want to do it. I guarantee they have people working on it in the background. They're just not telling us stuff because there's no point in hyping us until they figure out other stuff. It's like it's like me saying I think I fixed a problem,
Mhm.
but I didn't really fix a problem because I fixed one part of the problem. And then guess what? This is exactly what happens with electrical systems on aircraft, by the way. You fix one part of the problem, and that one part of the problem fixed something else, but that still didn't fix the other problem. It just fixed a part of the issue.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're dealing with now, because it's code. It is just
Yeah.
code. And it's like a spaghetti. It's a mess. It's a mess,
Yeah.
and it's a bunch of red sauce. But I mean, that's the way I look at it, from like ships not having gameplay loops when they come out.
Mm.
All right, I'll shut up.
No, good points. All very good points. Kimmy, were you going to toss in something about
No,
that?
speed
I
tape does
think
not work.
I think it's the approach is go for the low lying fruit or the low hanging fruit approach. Uh, you guys make great points. You can easily say, okay, once we get Pyro, which is hopefully the next quarter that's coming online, hopefully. So there's an expanse of the system.
Mm.
So then it would kind of work to bring in the economy system, and that's where the Banu merchantmen would have a role to play, because then they can move merchandise back and forth. Again, even with Pyro, you can say, okay, because now there's a lot of lawlessness in Pyro. There's advent of possibly a lot of ship graveyards. Then okay, get the reclaimer going, because you already have a ship there. Get that mechanic going so you can maybe uh, recycle hulls, because now you have Pyro. And then bring the Vulcan back online. So you got to look for the
Get Vulcan.
low hanging fruit, and make a grab for it to and look at the systems that are coming online, and then incorporate that with the feature type ships. Because let me tell you, you give the backers feature based ships, they're going to have a ball with it. They're going to create their own missions. They're going to go out and do their own thing. Um, and then that will give CIG time to go and deal with the foundational tech issues.
Okay. Good point. To your point, though, ships like my problem I see with ships like the Crucible and like the Reclaimer, as Seer talked about, how these kind of have a partnering together. When you start trying to retrieve salvage from space, you have to think about how much of that data is scattered throughout the universe, and the computers and the systems. All that has to track all of that for the persistence reasons. And this all goes back to the thing with server meshing and all that other stuff. To me, it's like I still think that there's some aspects that are tied into that they've got to get locked down. And everybody, if you don't know how the server meshing works, it's basically well, I don't even want to get into it because it's kind of in depth, but it basically allows you to move from one server to another in a seamless way and work with other people who are on different servers. That's the short version of how I would want to say how
Yeah,
it works.
the simple way
Yeah,
to
that's
say
the
it.
simple. Yeah, because it's a lot more deeper than that. So anyway, those are good points. I do want to hit on a couple points here for you guys to toss out at you, and this is going to be a quick round stuff I want to throw at you. We've hearing about this prison system. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be an asset to the game? Do you think it will turn people off from the game? How do you think people are going to respond to this with this jurisdictions being literally put someplace against their will? I've got my theory on it, but I'd love to hear what you guys think or what you've heard people saying about it.
I'll go. The prison system is not something I'll probably take part in much because I'll probably be a goody two shoes or a marketeer. I want to be able to make money and make money safely. So I probably won't do too much, dive too much.
You don't see yourself being there too much. Okay, I think FastCart froze up on us again. Seer, what about you?
Um, it's needed. Honestly, prison system is needed. Again, it ties in with the law system. It ties in with bounty hunting. It's a it's a huge step, and I mean, I'm not really interested in the bounty hunting role. I'm probably not going to put myself in jail because if I put myself in jail, then I can't do my videos with chips. So, um, but I mean, we need it. It's there. It's there to help prevent griefing, and it's there to put risk versus reward. Do I want to be able to play? Like, don't get me wrong. They're not taking out the fun of it because they even said there's ways for you to have fun in the law system while you're in prison. There's things you're going to be able to do. There's going to be merits you don't, and there's ways for you to escape and they said they're going to have it all within here. Now, I mean, things are always subject to change, so please don't take what I'm saying or CIG saying like as it's freaking like the Bible. Just
Right,
take a step back and think of the bigger picture here
right.
for the viewers' sake. But
But
I
but
mean,
Christ Roberts.
Christ Roberts, yes. But like really though, it's cool, and I think people are gonna think twice before they just want to go pad ramming or they want to go prospector clubbing. That's what I call it. I coined that. Just like seal clubbing, if they see a
Oh,
prospector, they just want
okay.
to club it.
I got it.
You don't you
Prospector
don't you don't
clubbing.
mean going to the club, okay?
No, I mean
Okay.
like oh, prospector smash.
Kimmy,
But
Kimmy, how about you, Kimmy?
Well, well spoken, Seer the Six. My take on the prison system is the fact that Chris has said that he wants this universe, this persistent universe, to be simulated or real as possible. He wants it to be similar to life, and so I can see situations where you're going to have players who are not keeping up with things they need to take care of, like say their insurance premiums, and they let's just say they do some risky behaviors, such as Seer said, bounty hunting, and it goes south. So they're expecting to get the reward, but the risk, based on the risk, they lost a lot. And so here comes you got to pay your insurance premiums. Guess what? You don't have the UEC to pay it up. You don't have well, maybe there was an infraction that you refused to get scanned and you kept going. Small infractions or small law infractions that can land you in jail. And based on you running into hardships, you will not be able to pay those premiums or pay those fines. You go to jail. And it's not to say that you killed someone or did something really bad. It's just the fact that you have to be mindful of taking care of your stuff in the game.
Basically being an adult. Oh God.
Well, here, some of the things they talked about with the prison system, they talked about this aspect of possibly trying to escape. They've talked about working in the mines through a merit system so that you can finally get yourself out. They've talked about the fact that there's going to be the boxing ring where people can fight, and there's possibly gambling that's involved in that. But I've also tried to think about what are the things that will make people want to go to prison. And I'm not just talking about for the sake of going, but think about the idea of possible information that's only gained from other prisoners who are in the prisons, NPCs, guards, someone who is considered one of the worst criminals in a sector, that if you happen to get paired up or find this person, you can find out black market information. There may be a whole nother level of gameplay. Kind of think of it as like a side mission that you would do in a big MMO. If you happen to go to the prison, there are all these other things that you could do that people like me and FastCart on the outside wouldn't have access to, we wouldn't know about. But for those dirty scoundrels like Kimmy and Seer, those guys, they will be able to get some valuable information when they go into prison. So I'm looking forward to CIG making it even bigger than what and I'm sure they will, because they always seem to, bigger than what they've told us so far. And there's a lot of, they always tell us there are things that they don't want to tell us about because they want us to find on our own. But I am curious about this whole, you guys give me your thoughts about this mechanized prison that has no guards. What do you think they're going to do as far as being able to escape out of it? Because once you escape once, will you be able to go in and escape again the same way? What do you think?
Oh, real quick, I just want to say people want to go to prison for street cred or just base cred.
Yeah. Yeah, there will be some people who say they went, right? I want to see what it's like, right? That's a good point.
I like those too.
I'm pretty sure all the big YouTubers will freaking say, I went to prison. They'll do prison gameplay, and then everyone's like, okay, I don't need to go.
Yeah. Yeah, flawed. No, there are not going to be guards there. It's all going to be a mechanized prison. So, yeah, it's all automated. We don't know exactly what that means completely, but we do know that it is automated. It's not manned. Kimmy, you going to go to prison or you going to stay out of it?
I might have to try it once. But look, if I was a part of a syndicate or I was a pirate, I definitely to glean information and gain more reputation on that side of the law, and to build my reputation and get respect. But then I would be privy to certain missions and locations of things. So now, if I was not on the side of piracy or syndicates, then maybe I could use that information to bargain my way to get out sooner. Or actually, once I get out, I can get together a squad or a group and go to that location and make it happen for me, even though I'm not a pirate or a part of the syndicate.
Yeah.
But it's definitely about the reputation building and learning about aspects of trying to find that bottom line or profit in the game.
Yeah. Ops Chief makes a nice observation here. He says, don't forget that different planets and systems will have differing laws or jurisdictions attracting like-minded players. So that's going to be another factor of people thinking about when they're traveling someplace. If a certain jurisdiction, certain types of people will be able to go other places and have greater freedom. They've even talked about even the type of ship that you have, luxury owners. Depending on where you go, you can land certain places where the riffraff cannot come. I was not speaking of anyone in this room, but they have talked about the fact that there will be some cred in relation to even the type of ship that you have going to certain locations. So 10th Sigma, one of our people in one of our members of Soul Citizens, is throwing out something. He says, I'm telling you, white collar federal prisons. That would be cool. So we'll see.
Of course.
We'll see. We'll see. One of the last notes I probably want to hit on tonight before we break off, guys, in the newsletter. I don't know if this was in the chairman's letter, concierge, or regular letter. There was a clue dropped that Origin is working on something that no one knows what it is, supposedly. Origin, known for luxury ships, mixed feelings about Origin from a lot of players. What do you think may be introduced by them? We've got the 100 series, 300 series, 600 series, and the 890. What do you think the number might be? And what do you think a type of ship might be coming out of Origin? Will they break away from their luxury tradition? or will they stay in that space? What do you guys think?
I want to jump in.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I noticed from the picture that if you look towards the bottom of whatever that ship was,
Look like the
It was
890.
890.
down, there was there was some sort of rover or something. So I'm wondering, will they have their version of their specific
Oh, the
rover
Ursa.
other than Ursa?
Were they supposed to produce the links, or is that somebody else that was producing that?
I think I want to say.
I thought it was supposed to have been the Carrack. Was it supposed to have been the Carrack eventually? That was originally.
No, I'm talking about the rover, because
The
originally
rover,
there was a
I
different
think everyone's saying
rover.
the Lynx rover. They're saying
Yeah,
it in chat.
Oh.
I think
Yeah.
I think they want to produce a rover, but I don't know if it's links or not.
It
Okay.
was Lynx. That was the
It
name.
was the links. Okay.
Oh,
It was.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
I
yeah, that
thinking
was.
RSI or something.
No, Sear's right. That was the 890 that they were standing on the deck of, and so in the cab, rather, the captain's there, whatever. But again, what do you guys think? What do you think they're going to produce? You think it might be? It maybe is a rover. Maybe they don't have a ground vehicle right now, other than the X1.
I-
Other than the X1, that's all they've got, right?
Oh, true. No, the X1 is not a rover. The X1 is.
No, I'm saying ground vehicle.
Right.
I mean ground vehicle.
Oh, ground vehicle. Yeah. But I talked to people at the Bar Citizen last night about the next Origin ship,
Hmm.
and whenever someone mentioned like maybe a 500 series being a military version, that seemed to gain traction. But that's just among us. So yeah, an Origin putting out a luxury military 500 series.
JJ, thanks for that message. He says the Lynx is RSI. That was RSI.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Phoenix.
Ooh, Miss Hearts. Hey, good to see you. That's an interesting one. How many people would make a Hummer into a limo? How about a stretch rover?
Oh God.
Yeah, I can see that. People will buy it too.
Well, who knows? I mean, we've got we've got a 100, a 300, a 600. So there's a gap between 300 and 6, right? So something could land in that area, and there's also a gap between 6 and 890. I don't know. Do you guys think? Let me ask you this: do you think there are too many luxury ships already in the game, or do you think that we could use another luxury something? And I don't know what that something could be, because they don't have like well, I guess the yacht is, but I'm trying to think of something that's more luxury commercial. I don't think they have
Man,
anything
there's
that's
so
luxury
many,
commercial.
so many combat ships in this game. I want to see
There's
some more luxury. I want to see some more like mechanics.
Utility.
Yeah, utility.
We
Thank
need
you.
more utility ships.
Utilitarian.
Industry. We
Exactly.
need more industry ships.
But do you think
not
that would
more
come from?
combat
Do you think
ships.
that would come from Origin, though, or do you think Origin
have
would
no
stick with
clue.
their? Okay.
I honestly have
They
no
may
clue.
put out something, but I don't know if it'll really fit. Like I would never have seen Mist putting out a racer, but they did.
Hmm.
They put
Yeah,
out technically 3 racers, one being a stealth racer, I guess.
yeah.
It's black. It's a black. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jared did go on this piece one time where he talked about how the different manufacturers, we didn't want to think of them as locked into certain types of ships because Mitsubishi makes tractors and makes aircraft engines. You know what I mean? He did talk about that. So do you think that they may try to do that? I mean, Origin so far has been that pretty much luxury line. I mean, even the
Has been the standard.
yeah, even their versions of like in the 100 series, they've got a cargo version, but they're in a racer, but they're still on the luxury. And same thing with the 300s.
Yeah.
Here's something that could happen. Do you think it could be the rework of the 600? They've told us that they're going to do a rework on it. They've told us that.
Some people are thinking it could be that too. It's either a 500 military variant or a 600 rework.
That's interesting. Well,
I think it's the 500. Military
the 500. Okay.
A heavy fighter variant.
Montoya said to me they probably putting out an 890 variant. I said the community would go ape if they did that, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Please.
We had that stop CIG before.
Oh my God, please don't.
The community would go ape if they put out a variant of the 890, so I don't think they'll go that high. But yeah, 600 and down, it could be any person's guess on that one. Okay, so let's close with predictions, guys. I'm gonna hit you off from the side here. If you got a prediction for anything that's going to happen between now and let's say CitizenCon, other than what's on the roadmap, what's a let's say 3.9 at 3.9. Any predictions, you guys? Anything think will come out? Anything will come out? And 3.9 is just a month away, guys. By the way, so we're almost at the next quarter.
And they'll give it that. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was thinking we're due for a new concept sale.
Yeah.
Have we had a concept? No, we have not
No,
had a
we
concept sale
haven't.
this
We
year.
are due. You're right.
We are past due for a concept sale. And the info runners and I were talking about this already. Like, well, maybe this is the next concept sale. Like they were hinting for it. We haven't got a concept yet.
Mm.
So are they redoing a ship or are they making a new ship?
Yeah, they said
He
they
hit
were.
on what I was gonna say. I was gonna say they're gonna tease us more about this new origin ship.
Oh, please
I'll
don't
do a
do it like they
concept
did the
sale.
Mantis. I hated how they. I hate how they revealed the
Oh,
Mantis.
that
That was
dragged that out.
drug out. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
like, yeah.
bad.
It's like the Mantis is still not out. Someone
Yeah.
just moved the asteroid already.
It took way too
Oh
long.
my
Way
goodness.
too long.
I
Kimmy,
hope they at least learn from that.
Kimmy, what you got? Any
Headaches.
predictions for between now and 3.9?
Uh, just another manufacturer probably coming. Well, I think first and foremost, it's going to be an Origin something something.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be nice for them to come in with a manufacturer doing a different type of a feature that's already in the game.
Mm.
Maybe someone doing a version of salvage or something of that nature. Yeah, it's going to be more likely something Origin based with a different functionality.
Okay, I'm going to throw back a little bit here for my prediction. I'm hoping, if you guys remember back at CitizenCon at the ship session that they did, they talked about that refining ship. And I would love
yeah.
to see
Oh.
that. I
But
would.
that's from MISC though. That was
Well,
Yeah, that-
right? No,
that
no,
would
no.
be
No. This is
Origin.
just a prediction. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
referring to
Oh,
Origin.
okay.
I'm just
Okay.
speaking of general prediction. I would love to see that refining ship kick in, because those of us who do mining, we know how wiped out we get with coming
Yes.
back with all of that bad ore.
So here's my question to you. Do you
So-
think they're gonna do both a Origin and a mining ship, or just one
Well,
or the other?
I know out of those 4 ships, that one got the biggest applause, and it seemed like that was the direction they kind of nodded their head toward. I guess it's just a matter of whenever they decide to do it.
Yo,
But it,
that mining rover. Give it 2.
yeah, that was another one. You're right. That's a good
Those 2
question.
are great.
Yeah, if they
Like
pull it.
we have so many concept ships.
Mhm.
We got 2 concept ships last year, being the Ares Starfighter or whatever they want to call it. I forgot. But we got the Ares, more combat ships. Let's get away from combat and go
Yeah.
more toward like unique cargo runners. Like
Yeah, support.
maybe we have a cargo ship that's designed to carry a special kind of cargo, or we have a special kind of refining ship that's designed to refine quantum or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand this game is based around combat, but show the people who don't like combat some love.
Yeah.
Please.
Very good point. Very good
Combat
point.
is going to cost.
I mean, I already have plenty of ships. I am willing to melt some ships. I want to get rid of my combat ships because I am combat logistics. I'm troop transport and I'm repair refuel. I'm
Yeah.
literally a mechanic in game. I'm a mechanic. I was an avionics technician in the Marine Corps, and now I'm an avionics technician for Boeing. So I love troop transport because of the platform I worked on, and I love working on things. So I want to do that in game. Straight up, I want to do it in game. So
By
I
the way,
will get rid of my combat ships.
By the way, I'm still here, but you just can't see me. I don't know what's going on with the camera because I can see you. I can see you guys, but you don't see me on the stream.
Oh, okay. Well, we can see you.
Oh, you do?
No, I'm just kidding. No, we know you're
Oh,
there.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen. On that note, we're going to pack it in for the night. We had a really great discussion tonight. I think I will say something. Hopefully, you guys will agree with. CIG, you did a great job on the Carrack. It's probably one of
really
the
did.
better laid out ships that you guys have done, just from the response of people and other players. Even with the bugs that are there, people really, I'm not hearing that this doesn't make any sense. Why did they put this here? People seem to really be happy with the layout. You can obviously see it set up for people to do boarding parties, for PvP on board, as well as it's very functional. So we're going to send you kudos on that from the Soul Citizens. You guys agree with that? Did we give them a thumbs up on that one? What do you guys think? All right, they're thumbing up. All right, so that's great. All right, again,
Oh.
Well, go ahead, FastCart. You want to say something?
That's want to remind people, if you're planning or even hinting or thinking about going to CitizenCon this year, make sure you go according to
I'm
Molly.
going.
Yes, we will
This
be
is my
there.
first CitizenCon.
Really?
I will be
cool.
there. Yep.
Nice.
Oh, dude, And you're going to the one too. This is going to be great.
I mean, LA is home for me. That's like a 2-hour drive from
Ah.
my parents' house.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you're
yeah,
there.
hey,
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Well, you got to tell us where to go get the good food then, man. Because last time I was there, I wasn't too
Exactly.
happy.
If you want
So
good food, you're gonna have to go to Anaheim. You're gonna have to go to Anaheim,
All
Orange
right.
County. That's where I love the good food.
All right.
All the good
wow.
food.
all right, well
Or if you can go to San Diego.
get your Volkswagen out. We're going to pile in, man. We'll all go with you wherever we got to go. All right.
Yeah, I got to say, Austin CitizenCon, amazing. That was my first one.
Yeah, it was great.
I was blown away.
Yeah, well, we want to encourage all you guys, especially if you're here in the States, save your dough, come to CitizenCon. It is definitely an experience, both in relation to the convention itself, but even more meeting people and connecting with people in the community. We had such a great time the last few years we've been there, and this year, according to CIG, is going to be the best, so you don't want to miss out. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in with us tonight. FastCart, you want to say something real quick? Thought I heard
No.
you. Nope. Okay. And Kimmy, you got anything?
I love this community. Love you all. 07.
Seer, anything you had to say, bro?
I'm good.
He's
You guys
good.
all have a good one. Stay safe.
Seer had a long day, I could tell. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys, especially those of you all who put the word out on us for Twitter, bringing people to us. Please spread the word. Follow us. We'd love to have you back, and we look forward to seeing you guys first Sunday of next month here on Soul Citizen. So peace, love, and soul. I had to do it.
I feel like we're Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
07.
So, are we ending or are we still broadcasting?
What? I didn't even hear the music.
That's caught that train.